So normal afternoon feeding chores today. We've loaded up feed for part of our pig. But part of our daily check is to check our gravity feeder, and as you can see, it's still full. We try to keep around a ton in that at a time and try to make sure it's full. That's just one less thing we have to do or work with, but we do have to make sure it's full every day so that they're getting all the feed they need. Next we'll go up and feed Barbie, the mom with the piglets, and they're ready to be weaned. We're probably going to do that this week. As you see, there's one that shouldn't be in here. I have had so much trouble with that one pig staying in where it needs to go. Everything else is done good, but this one just will not stay. So I'll be glad when that one moves on out. Let's feed Barbie and her babies. You get on out of here. Come on. Come on. Go back there. Come on. Come on. So this is our group of weaned piglets. We still have a few more to get and wean. There's 8 in here right now. We have 9 more. We have 14 more to wean. We just haven't got those done yet. This is our basic configuration of a training pen. I'll kind of show you what it looks like. So first off, you can see that we've got a physical barrier with the pig panels, and then secondly we have the wire, which is inside about 8 inches off the ground, and that is a psychological barrier. The way it works is they'll touch the wire and their first instinct is to shoot forward, but when they have this hard or physical barrier behind them, they can't, and they learn to back up from that. So that's why you need the physical barrier as well as the psychological barrier when you're training them. So this is our standard setup. You can put 2 wires. Sometimes people do. I have in the past, but I found that 1 is just as good as 2. And then when you get them out on pasture, I usually do have 2 wires. They respect it really well. You want this wire to be very hot, and you want it to really give them a jolt when they get into it, so that when you get them out on pasture, they don't want to touch it. They're really smart and don't forget things too much at all. So that's why we have both of these barriers here. We have finally got to the position in the place where we'll just leave this training pen set up all the time. It's about 16 foot wide and around 40 foot long. We can do several piglets in here for 2 to 3 weeks, even a month if we want to or need to, before we can get them moved. And then we'll move them over to a larger paddock and pasture to start with, and then move them through our cycler system. So I'm sure you can tell, but this is a homemade feeder that we built. If you'll look back in my videos, there is some plans on how to build this. This is a 30-gallon barrel on top of a base that we built. I like to keep it topped off. It's actually done really well. It's been in service a couple of years. I've had to readjust the doors a little bit on occasion where they have knocked them off, but they use it really good. It is not as good as I guess a store-bought feeder. It does allow for some feed to get out on the ground, so there is a little bit of waste with it, but not a whole lot. Works really good. Let's go feed the goats and the livestock guardians, and that'll be a day. Feed the bucks their ration. How many groups here? Phew! You guys stink. Y'all just keep knocking the bowls out of the way. Look out, guys. Look out, look out, look out. All right. Here. Everybody's got their little dose of grain today. Now let's go feed Marley, the new dog, at midnight, our new buck. He's got a couple of small bucklings in there with him too, so let's get them fed. And let me say, you better be careful and not let this chain get on that electric fence. Ask me how I know. About put me on my knees. Come here. Come on, guys. Marley, here you go. One thing I've come to expect out of livestock guardian dogs, they carry their bowl off constantly. So I actually had to get a cast iron pan for Drax. That's the only way I can keep him from carrying it off. So now I got to find another one for Marley so I don't have to put her food on the ground. Don't want to do that. Phew, the gnats are awful. So we got all the bucks fed. Now we need to go feed Drax and check on the goats over there. And then we'll have most everything done for the day. I wish we had smell-o-vision. These guys are getting ready to go into rut. Phew, they stink. Let's feed Drax. Here it is. So get down, get down, get down. Drax has pushed his pan out from under. See, I told you we have to use a cast iron pan for Drax, or he just carries it off, so we'll feed him. He's telling him not to mess with his food. Only time you'll ever see him growl. He just keeps them away from his food, so I don't have to worry about the goats ever eating the dog food. Some of the babies are really growing, doing well. There's a 100% Kiko. She's doing awesome, and she just has turned 8 weeks old, where everything else is probably 12 and 13 weeks old. So I'm really proud of them. Don't mess with Drax's food. He don't like it. Got one goat that I noticed just wasn't, she lost some weight, not super lethargic, but once you keep them for a while, you understand when you need to check them. It wasn't time to check them, but she actually has got, she's kind of, her FAMACHA score is pretty pale. She's probably a 3, maybe a 4. So we're going, me and Kobe are going to catch her and treat her with 2 classes of wormers. So that's why you'll see us dose her twice. We'll use Sidectin and a prohibit on her. So let's go get that done. Big brown, solid brown. Might have to run her work her in that corner, and maybe we can just relax. Come on. Come on. Keep sleeping. Good job. Alright, let's treat her. Good catch, Kobe. Alright, so according to the dosing chart, you give her 15 of Sidectin, 15.4, and 9.3 of prohibit. I'm going to try to show them her FAMACHA if you're going to help me hold her. So, the way you check their FAMACHA, push, pop, and pull. And you can tell she's pretty pale. Not a lot of pink, if any at all, so we need to treat her for sure. Here's her dose of Sidectin. It's an oral drench. Marilyn, quit bothering her. All right, quit. So that is her treatment. And I know somebody's going to leave a comment below and ask why. Why did we treat her with 2 wormers? Well, the rationale behind that is, you can let her go now. One of them will kill 90%, 80 or 90% of the worm load. The second will kill 80 or 90% or 90% of what's left over, or the residual of that worm load. So then you get a larger amount of those parasites killed. Only leaves about 1% left in the body. That helps prevent any immunity to the wormers that you're given. So you're sure to kill all of those worms or parasites that are in there, or the largest amount that you can. So you're getting about 99% of them instead of only 90. Now that's the rationale behind it. All right, so Everybody else looks good. She just caught my eye and I knew she wasn't acting appropriate, so she needed to be treated before our next regular FAMACHA check on her. Let's go down and check our sorghum Sudan and see how it's growing and see if we can get back in some air conditioning. It's too hot to be out here. So we're out here looking at the sorghum Sudan, the sugar grazer. As you can see, it's coming up, doing pretty good. It's about, I don't know, it's about 6 inches tall or something. Down here in the lower part, it seems to be doing a little better, and that might be because we got it tilled up a little more with a disc. And it might be that, you know, up in here, it's the sugar grazer's having to compete a little bit with the grass that is still left. We thought we had it tilled up good, but you can still see it's coming up pretty good here. Up here on top, let's see how it's doing. Yeah, it's coming up. See, it's coming up all in here, but it's having to compete with these old weeds and grasses that are in here. It's a little update on the sugar grazer. It's coming up pretty good. It was put out on the 10th. Today's July the 2nd, and we actually had 1 week where we had 10 inches of rain. It rained every day, so it didn't really do any growing that week. But now with this hot weather, it's starting to come on. Let's move on and finish out the day. So as we were leaving the sugar grazer, we could hear one of our goats making a noise that we knew wasn't normal. And we figured out that one of the young doelings had gotten across into a different paddock and couldn't get back over with the rest of the herd. So when you think you've got it all finished, there's always something else comes up to do. So we had to stop and go up and catch her and move her back over. Climbing the brush pile. Good catch. I got the gate open down here if you can carry her or whatever you want to do. You can just pop her over the fence up there if you want to, or if you can't, if you're afraid it's hot, I got the gate open down here. Come on, let's go, Drax. Come on, let's go. She's pretty, ain't she? You pretty girl. How in the world did you get over here? I thought I just saw you a minute ago. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, Drax, let's go. Come on, Drax. Come on, let's go. Good boy. Good boy. Well, another unexpected job complete. You go out, think you're just gonna feed, and then there's all these little things that happen. So that's a day on the farm. What do you think, Cash? Why didn't you come help? Why didn't you come help us? It's just been a regular day of chores. We had a few things pop up where we had to treat that goat, and that's normal. You got to keep your eyes open on your livestock all the time. Thanks for watching. Remember, please go down and hit that like button. Leave a comment if you're liking our videos. Subscribe to the channel. We're growing every day, and I really do appreciate those of you that are subscribing and are watching our content. It just always surprises me that you'll spend time with me on our little farm. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.